What is up, you guys? Happy Monday. It is Monday the 10th, and I'm officially 1 week into this cut. I have recorded a few versions of this video, and the first ones I recorded were just, updates talking about the scale, weight fluctuations, and talking about how I've moved around my meals and things like that. But you guys have kind of seen me talk through that stuff on Instagram, so I didn't really want to talk about all of that again. I think what might be more interesting for you guys to hear me talk about is how I'm mentally working through the process of dieting, and dieting specifically for fat loss, dieting specifically to chase some aesthetic changes. I think that's really what my brain has been grappling with the most because I spent so long training for performance. And even I was a collegiate soccer player. After college, it was training for marathons, and then kind of doing some longer endurance running, endurance biking. And my focus was always performance because with a lot of my eating disordered behaviors, I had done research on this stuff too. Like, I have a master's in psychology, and one of the things that we researched when I was in school was that women, when they lean more towards performance goals, they tend to feel better about their bodies. And so I kind of had that stuck in my brain, okay, well, if I focus on performance, I'm going to feel better. So I was just performance. Got into CrossFit, same thing, performance. Rock climbing, performance. And then weightlifting. And the thing with weightlifting that was so interesting was my performance was so easily measured by what I was snatching or what I was clean and jerking or what I was squatting. So I think for me that performance focus turned into me kind of chasing those things at the expense of my physical body. You guys have heard me talk about my knee inflammation that I've had for freaking ever. My knees have hurt since I played soccer in college, but I had really bad inflammation on my right knee running a lot. I was getting it drained regularly. I did PRP injections 1 year, took some time off. But I guess kind of looking back on my experience with this performance focused training, it led me down. Not that I'm not saying it was all bad. I'm not saying that at all. There were a lot of positives that came out of it. But I'm just kind of from where I'm standing now, I'm wow, I was chasing performance at the expense of some other things. And going into this cut, I had a lot of considerations. If I was just cutting in my own little world and I didn't have a nutrition coaching business, I don't think I would have had some of these same considerations. But I do have a nutrition coaching business, and I work with a lot of clients who need to not be cutting for a long time. And so I think when I made the decision to cut, it was a big decision because I'm now sharing that I'm doing this thing. I'm purposefully chasing fat loss. I'm purposefully chasing aesthetic changes while working with clients who maybe need to step away from those things for a while. So I feel like I've had some cognitive dissonance about not only doing this, but sharing so much of my data around it. And what I have to remind myself is, and maybe it's helpful for you guys to hear too, I'm not sharing this for you to copy and paste what I'm doing. I'm just trying to give you insight into my personal process. In terms of my personal process, I started tracking macros in 2016. And I cut for a weightlifting meet one time. So out of 2017, 2018, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 4 times 12. So even if I cut for 3 months, so I've been cutting for less than 6% of the time that I've been tracking macros. Um, so I just think that's important to remember, like, this isn't what I spend most of my time doing. Like, this is a 3 month phase in the context of a very long nutrition journey, where I am actively pursuing fat loss. I'm actively pursuing aesthetic changes. And I keep saying those things for you guys, but also for me, because somewhere in my brain, like I was talking about the research I did in school, like I got like, if I focus on aesthetics, like I am going to be unhappy in my body. Like those things got like linked together. Um, and so for me to come into this cut, like feeling mentally healthier than I've ever felt with food. Like I feel like I've transformed my relationship with food over the years, and I've transformed my relationship with my body over the years. And I think that sharing that process has been really therapeutic for me. Um, and so I don't think I could have picked a better like mental state to enter this cut with. Um, so I'm, I guess I'm really excited to like see the outcome. And I'm not attached to any scale number. I'm not attached to any body fat percentage. Um, I'm definitely not attached to increasing any of my lifts in the gym, because I feel like with my training age, like the most I can expect is to maintain a lot of my lean tissue. Like I don't think I can expect to see any strength improvements right now. Um, maybe some neuromuscular control, neuromotor changes. But I mean, definitely not hypertrophy. Like I'm not going to grow any muscle. So I guess I'm just trying to wrap my brain around all of that. Like this is the first time in my life, maybe ever. Because even when I cut for my weightlifting meet, I'm still like trying to, step on the platform with a certain like level of performance. And now it's like I'm actively like saying, "Hey, like I'm training specifically for fat loss." Um that's okay. Like again, in my brain, for some reason that was like this like dirty forbidden thing that I like wasn't allowed to do. Um so it's been really interesting to watch my to watch my brain kind of like be uncomfortable with it. So yeah, that's where my head is at with the cut. My biofeedback is great. I don't think I can expect any better biofeedback. I'm really happy with how I've problem solved moving my meals around. I think my caloric deficit is appropriate. I'm sleeping well. My energy is good. So I'm just going to keep sharing with you guys what's going on. And yeah, if you have any feedback for me or questions, specific questions, or if there's any other coaches out there that also feel this way, holla at your girl. I'd love to hear if any of you guys have had a similar like experience with cutting or sharing this sort of stuff with other people. Um, so I think that's it for now. I hope you guys are having an amazing start to your week, and I will see you soon. Mwah!